not just talking about one person, I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about form, I'm talking about content, I'm talking about interrelationships, I'm talking about God, devil, hell, heaven. Do you understand?
So, yeah, as I was saying, my favorite show all time is, I don't know about all time, but I really love 30 Rock. I think 30 Rock is so criminally underrated.
I've actually maybe only seen 1 or 2 episodes. And it's one of those shows that's like chronological, right? Like it's all...
I mean, sort of, but it's like, it's a great show to watch from the beginning because like it gets so much goofier each season.
Yeah.
Like season 1, it's like tame. Season 2 gets like a little bit goofy, and then it's just like goes so off the rails.
Doesn't it have like callback jokes often though? Like you kind of have to know the characters to get the jokes.
No, not really. No.
Okay. Maybe
Yeah.
I have to give it a shot again.
I think the way people love The Office is the way people should love 30 Rock.
Yeah.
I watch Parks and Rec instead of 30 Rock. I tried to watch 30 Rock, but Parks and Rec.
Parks
Rec
and
is
Rec is
great.
great.
Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely have got down too.
Well, yeah, we were saying, I guess we can put this on the air. I've never seen The Sopranos. I've never seen The Wire.
Must
And-
watch.
Yeah.
both. Yeah.
I think I'm afraid, though.
Afraid what? It's
I
gonna
just
be
think,
whack?
like, because when you know, like, when someone recommends you something and then you watch it and it's like, this isn't as good as I thought. I think that's why, like, as much as I want to watch The Wire, I'm like, what if it's not, like, that
You don't want to
dope?
have those conversations with other people to be like, I actually hated The Wire.
This is the conversation I have, and I hate to say this, documented, but Kendrick Lamar. Like, I'm not a big fan of Kendrick Lamar, and people are always like,
That's fine.
did you hear that new Kendrick Lamar? And I'm like, oh, yeah, it's not my thing. And they're like, man. Like, it just gets this, like, really...
It's not your jam. I mean, that's I'm always like that. I'm kind of like that with, I hate to say it out loud.
Say it.
I'm like that with Prince. Like,
Wow.
I'm like
That's
that.
fair. That's fair.
I'm like that with Prince. You know what I'm saying? George Clinton is my guy, and I think Prince he's great. But
Is there a Prince song that you're like, at least this one?
oh no, he has all of them are cool.
Right.
But I just don't like, when people decide to make these like Mount Rushmore's bullshit. Like,
Totally.
I'm like, how could you? There's so many. It's like when they do it with hip hop. Like, are you joking me? There's so many people that you could put up there, depending on where your walk of life.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
How you walk. You know what I'm saying? How you walk, you don't feel Kendrick Lamar. It doesn't resonate.
Yeah,
So,
I feel like that's why it's always hard to, like, quantify when they're like, these are the 500 greatest guitarists of all time. And it's like,
to who?
yeah, who's the
it's
source
true.
of that?
Yeah.
Yeah, it just depends what you feel, Yeah.
As somebody that also doesn't really connect with Prince, my favorite song is the one where he's talking about having sex with his sister. I don't know. Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Not immediately, no.
It's just a fire song, but I'm wondering, like, do you have one that's like it?
I like them all, but no, the one that I don't know.
It definitely sounds like a Prince.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was like 1999. Like, I was trying to think. Yeah.
I mean, I like them and stuff, but it's not like the same. Like, it's like, the Prince and Michael Jackson thing. They're two completely different artists.
Yeah.
Completely different. Like, if they weren't black, people wouldn't even have this discussion. You're not talking about Donovan and Frank Sinatra. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, wow.
I see a comparison in there. I see a little bit. I did it my way. I can see that as a Donnie track.
oh no, not
yeah,
that. I meant Donovan.
Donovan.
But
I
not
thought we were
even.
talking- I
But
thought-
Ialive, yes, Ialive and Frank Sinatra are the same person.
Yeah, I can see it.
Reincarnation.
Yeah,
I can see that.
It's the womanizing.
And the Rat Pack gang. Yeah. So yeah, I guess we didn't do a formal intro. When Donovan was outside, we decided to call this episode Unknown. So we don't know where this podcast is going, where it's going to end up, but it's an unknown episode of Episode Unknown.
Yeah, episode
The unknown podcast.
Unknown
Yeah.
episode number 1.
The guys are in the room. Hi,
dig it.
Keech.
Yes,
Ialive.
Yeah.
Nosaj, is that right?
Yeah,
All right.
Nosaj.
I've just met Nosaj for the first time, so this is
And I just say Jason because
okay.
I only feel like when I'm on stage or in the recording in the session, am I Nosaj?
Okay.
Even like if I'm on professional business, I always just introduce myself as Jason until like the mic gets turned on or like a camera gets turned on, and then I'm like, okay, now I'm Nosaj.
Yeah, I was always like that. Like,
Yeah. I just
When
thought
you-
it was weird, you know.
yeah, when you're in like a social setting, it's like, do I introduce myself as my rap persona or
Right.
like,
Like, what am I here? Like, what am I here?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's, I guess maybe that's what Batman and Superman went through.
exactly.
Right.
Yeah. Clark Kent.
Yeah.
I'm Clark Kent when I meet you, and then you see me, I'm Superman.
Yeah. But yeah, welcome to my messy house. I tried to clean up real quick before you guys got here, but
Oh, no.
yeah, these guys are on tour. They came to my house.
Yes,
So
yes.
I figured we just chop it up just like the old days. It's been
Hell
a minute
yeah.
since we've all been in the same room together.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True. 2018, I think, in the flesh.
At the same spot you guys are about to play at, I think.
Oh, we talking pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Damn, coming full circle.
Oh,
Yeah.
and the before.
Yeah, before times.
And the before time. Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah, that was pre pandemic, pre tour. Or that was
Right.
that was tour, yeah. Yeah. So how you guys been?
Been really good. It's been-
Post-pandemic.
Yeah, it's been a fun trip so far.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we've been like working on this group for like, I don't know. I guess when did we start writing stuff?
I can't even. Shit.
I kind of couldn't even tell. I'd have to say at least 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And then we're finally into tour mode within the last 5 days, you know. This will be, or I guess this is day 5 of our tour.
Yeah.
So like I remember the last time we talked, you were talking about because you've been an extensive tourer, like
Yeah.
you know, your resume is online. You can see the 20 years of touring you've had.
Oh yeah.
And I remember last time we talked a little bit about you pulling back from touring a little bit.
Yeah.
So is that how you're approaching this tour, like doing less days?
No.
No? Oh,
No, not actually, not at all.
I feel like I don't know what it was exactly, but something made me feel when I put my last album out, my last like solo album, that was like I thought that was gonna be the pandemic is over,
Mm-hmm.
and I realized it like was not really over.
Mhm.
It was like you know, like, oh yeah, the Beyonce show is still happening, but like all these small venues are shutting down, or like, you know, it was like everything was still like a fucking mess.
Mm-hmm.
And like I kind of it kind of made me be like, maybe this is the end of like solo touring for not like forever, but for like a while, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then like from the very beginning of us working on stuff, we were like talking about like, let's like make room for this to become the new live group, like like that we do, like our live project is this, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Okay.
because like with you know, we had a lot of fun. We did the Necessary People project, and I did an album with Darko, and we had a lot of fun doing that stuff while everything was like shut down.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always this thing of like, you have all this freedom because you're not constrained by, you have to actually go outside and do it,
Yeah.
which is cool. But as I feel like at some point I started to feel like, nah, but this group has to be like a group that's like, we're ready in our lives to like take it on the road, you know.
Okay.
And we're super excited about it. you
So
know?
do you feel antsy when you're at home? Like when you're at home and you're not like on the road, do you feel like, man, I really wish I was out there?
Yeah, and it's weird. We were talking about it the other day. Like, I get like, before tour, I get like almost like, why am I doing this? I'm getting in a car to do what? And it just all seems like a big hassle. And then once I'm doing it, I'm like, oh, I should be doing this every day of my life. Like, it just, like, you don't realize how much you miss it until it's happening again or something like that.
Because when I went with you, you were doing 3 months at a time.
Yeah.
So, like, is that something you think you could still do? Or
I mean, I think, you know, we got 2 family men in the mix right here. Yeah. And, we should get their perspective, but but like I kind of feel like money is a part of it. It's like, could there be a tour? We're trying to figure things out, like opening up for different people and stuff. We're trying to figure out how like things, like I feel like we know how to do tours like this, like we're doing like 2 weeks at a time, but like, do I know how to book a tour on my own that's 3 months that would like sustain us? I'm not sure, but we can figure it out.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a good, because you guys were talking about dad stuff off there while we're setting up. I don't know if you guys want to reiterate some of the dad points you guys were talking about earlier.
Yeah, I mean, going on tour, first of all, just the idea of bringing up a suggestion of leaving the house for 3 months. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. But no, I mean, if the nanny was in the budget, like, and you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's like that, sure, you can go on tour. I mean, it's your job, right? But, and I would love to go on tour for 3 months as long as they could come with me, like, for a lot of it. You know what I'm saying? Just because, you know, it's fun. But no, touring is great. This tour has been great. It's incredible to when you forget about the connection you make with people, especially with strangers, especially with social media. You know, people DM you and say, "Oh yeah, you know," they tell you, you know, about their feelings about your art. But when you're in front of them and they're talking to you and they're telling you, you just both had a connection together. That's something that I totally forgot that I missed. Yeah. Until the first night. Totally. I was like, oh shit. I loved just the conversations before the show, after the show, the conversations with the people in the restaurants that we go to, people whispering things to me everywhere I go, catching those, going back to sample them. Like, it's fun, man. This is the life, you know what I'm saying, I always dreamed of. You know, so it's good.
That's cool. That's really fucking cool. Do you feel the same, Donnie?
Yeah, I think for the most part, it's like there's the creative part of your life, and then there's the responsible adult part of your life, and it's like, how do they coexist? Yeah. How do you balance those, and then can you actually like have them be the same person? You know what I mean? I feel like that's just like the lifelong journey. Yeah. But it does be, I think like you said, how do you sustain it? It's just like about sustainability when it comes to family shit and touring for that matter, because it's like, if it's you just get burnt out doing shit where you feel like you're not breaking through a certain point you feel like you should be or something. You can't just keep grinding for nothing. You have to see some kind of progress. So there's that aspect of it. And it's a shame to be like, well, you know, capital is what is that, like, that's the value placement on it. But I mean, realistically, it's like, if you're bringing home cash, it's like I could tell my partner, like, well, this bread is going to be coming in the mail, so it's all good if I leave. It's just work, you know what I mean? Which is
right, yeah. Because
she would be like, okay,
that's the thing. If you have a young kid, like, it just costs more to be out on tour than maybe you might be making, right? So, especially like with our situation with this project, like, we know, okay, look, especially post-pandemic, people may hear the record, but they still need to see you. And I always feel like I'm basically giving you the first one for free. Like I'm giving by the schoolyard. Like, here, take this first bag free. But so you could get hooked right immediately. And so just try that on stage in every town, have an impact. Like we reach our professional goals that we're trying to do, but also the humanity of what we do, it impacts people. So they could come and have like real discussions with you. But no matter what, our professional goal was to be tight and do the songs. But it's also, we have to do these shows where it's not even about the pay. It's just about literally getting the word out.
Totally.
Like, and just keep getting the word out, keep getting the word out, keep getting it. And then next thing you know, we're going to turn around and it's got everything that we need for the nanny and everyone else will be there because we have strong songs we believe in, and then we believe in our show. And I just don't think, personally, from my standpoint, I don't think there's, like, for where we are in our project, there's no one even close in terms of the experimentation and the vibe on stage and the production. We've kind of like created our own thing. Therefore, we can be really confident. Like, I'm super confident that we're going to have really large audiences because of how I feel when we're doing it. But also, we have our targets that we're trying to reach every night. So, and we're reaching them, but now we're like, oh my God, we didn't even think we're going to reach this part of it. So now we're getting the connection. So yeah, I like doing these tours, but I'm completely confident that we're going to be, or like we've almost finished with our second record. Shit's going to be crazy soon. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
I always think about, like, my dad, he's a writer. He writes books. And but he never, like, got to a point of being able to do it as, like, a sole source of income or anything. But he, like, found, like, publishing companies and stuff. And like, put stuff out. And I feel like I think about, like, I thought that was, like, really cool even when I was, like, a kid. Like, to be like, okay, your dad goes to work and then he comes home with the family and then he's got, like, a third thing that, like, like, I remember one time he was like feeling really distracted and he, like, went to, like, North Carolina by himself for a week and just wrote. And it's like,
wow.
It's like, I don't know. I just remember being like, oh wow, Dad does a thing. And, like, I feel like, I don't know, it might be easy for you guys to feel like you're, like, it's just all a negative or something to be away. But then no, I don't. I mean, not a negative for you, but, like, for the family or something. But I also feel like it's just good as, like, modeling or something. Like,
100%.
Yeah, for your children to see you. But also, I mean, for me personally, like, Ola, my partner, she completely champions, like, all my family, like my daughter Ruby, my son Lucas, Troy, everybody, my mom, Jennifer, they all champion what I do. Yeah. Like, they, like, not just because it's me, because they like it too. Like, they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're like, no, your shit is dope. Like, this is, but also, like, when you're out, do your thing. That's why we are holding you down at home. For you, but not for you just to do it as your passion project, go out for a week, 2 weeks, and no. Go out, do your thing. Yeah. But understand, the bigger picture of you. Cultivate this thing that you're doing to the best of your ability, because this is what you do. So, and bring you know what I'm saying, that back to us, but we'll hold you down. And to me, that's just like, oh man, like I was telling Dan this morning, it didn't really hit me until this morning. I was like, oh wow, right. I'm not listening for the toddler. I'm not looking at what time it is. I'm literally here to do what I'm here to do.
Yeah.
And so, what more can you ask? You know what I'm saying? Get busy.
See, that's like, I was listening to Rogan a couple days ago, and he was saying something similar, like, no one should ever have a job. It's just like, find your thing you love to do and just do that.
And monetize it. Yeah,
just do it,
yeah. I mean, it's hard to get a passion economy. I mean, it's not, I don't make any money. You know what I'm saying? So my partner has to do that. But I always feel like I have a job where there are times I could make more money than most people could make their entire lives, right? So, but does that really what about all the times you weren't making, right? So you have to think about that. Like, okay, you may be getting one large figure, but there were all these years where there were no figures, right? But I mean, if you can, I think we're just lucky, and you're lucky if you have a partner who can allow you to, not have a job or a boss or I mean, I haven't had an actual job for a long period of time since before New Kingdom, so, and that's also because I would get fired immediately from everything because I don't know how to do shit. And that's the other thing. This is all I know how to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a professional dad and I do this.
Yeah.
But I know I do this probably better than anybody on the planet when I'm doing it because there's only one me.
Yeah.
So I can always say, I bet you there's nobody on the planet doing this right now like this hot. But that's only because I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to ride a bike. I don't know how to drive a car. I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to do none of that shit. But you know what I do know how to do?
Right.
Is make you feel something when you come to my show.
Yeah.
That you never felt. And that's to me, that's the job.
Yeah, that's awesome. See, that's the I've been a 9-to-5er for a long time. And I think that's always the tough push and pull. When you're an artistic person, you're you got to come in, punch a clock, take your lunch break, got to ask for days off. You have all these forces that are kind of holding you down when you're just man, I have this thing and I just want to put it out, but the bills got to get paid. And
right.
Exactly. So it's that tough thing of how do I take this thing and take it where this is it? I don't have to come in and talk to a boss about my productivity for the month. It's
you got to get a creative economy. And as creative as you are with your personal art, then you have to find a creative way to make money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, I had a baking service for 2 decades almost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We were still making money. It just was not, couldn't have I just would, I would get fired immediately anytime I tried to do anything, telemarketing, anything.
Yeah.
And it's just because my mind was just wandering constantly on some ADHD shit.
I would stay on the phone if you called me as a telemarketer.
Yeah, because
I'd be I'm interested.
Yeah. And mine was selling. It was doctors getting them to go on these paid vacations from Big Pharma and shit. That was the one. Yeah. That was the one. That was me.
Wild.
I was you want to go fishing here. You know that shit. Just, you know what I'm saying?
I would be Emma, this guy called, and it was definitely just a scam. But
but I stayed on the phone with him. Something about it.
Yeah.
I got his personal number.
I have this thing because I've just been doing beat sales for the last couple years as my income, and then I got this thing when I first moved. I got this thing called InstaWork, this app where it's just we need 10 guys to move boxes in New Jersey or something and show up, and that's the bottom of the barrel shit, and I can't even get through that a lot of times. I was like this will be a cool supplement, and then it's it's just an app. And it'll be tell us why you would enjoy this employment opportunity or something. And that's even too much. I don't know if you feel the same, but I feel I'm too far gone to be I look forward to
eating shit,
moving boxes in Like, I don't know. Like,
But that's why I'm saying that's what's so good about getting better in all the shows, because like, especially for the wave generator shit, there should be no reason why you're not buying Gabby a house. There should be no reason why.
yeah.
You're not like, why is it that in an experimental avant-garde, especially in hip hop shit, people think like there's no price tag on it. Like it's actually the opposite. That trash is cheap. This shit here is, you crazy? Like, it ain't gonna be after I die that you're gonna be buying my shit and shit and putting it on a t-shirt. No, I need the external validation now. Like, I need to know that, and I need other artists to know that making music like this feeling, it can also get you paid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because people scared to say that. Like, they're like, we're not thinking about money. We're rappers. Of course we're thinking about money. It's just we're thinking about it from a different way. We're trying to be cool about it. But at the same time, I love luxury shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I like going to Dubai. I like going, and so do all the avant-garde artists that I listen to.
Yeah.
Right? So what is the difference between us?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that is when people, and it's about the art form, people, the respect or disrespect people have for our art form. But, you know, there's no difference to me from us than Terry Riley. There's no difference to Herbie Hancock, anybody else, right? So, you know, I'm just, you know, I want young, ill motherfuckers to be like, oh, no, I'm not wasting my time. It's the opposite.
Yeah, I think it's also
opposite.
like, I always felt like it's the time we live in with the internet. It's because, like, you can just get everything. Like, everything's just, like, right there. Like, you can go on YouTube or whatever. Like, so, like, in one sense, everything's oversaturated because everyone's doing the same thing. So it's like, how do I get my thing to the top instead of getting buried under, like, all these other subpar, whatever. Like,
gotta fight.
Yeah, and it's
Gotta
like that,
fight.
and it's like, I don't think people really pay for shit because there's so many ways to get shit free.
But I feel like there's like always an audience that will support.
Yeah.
And then I really feel like it's been like, particularly in hip hop, and then way more particularly in like our all like general field of hip hop. I feel like it's like there's just like way more of a culture than there used to be of just like this supporting, like, I don't know, like the label like Fused Arrow that helped us, the Steel Tip Dove who runs that label, he helped us like mix and master it and put it out on vinyl and stuff. And like there's like a lot of people that just will buy it because it's on Fused Arrow. And that's like I don't know, that's kind of new. I feel like there's like even people that are like way famous that don't have it like that. Like,
For sure.
Like, I feel like it's like even like rappers that are at the top of the top will be like, this is my man, and then there's like 0 copies sold. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. There is this culture of people that support, and I guess it's like, you know, it's like to some degree, I don't feel like we're totally in control of like, is that gonna grow or like recede? You know, it's like you're just kind of one of the people existing in this ocean of stuff, but like. But like, I don't know. I definitely feel like hopeful. Like, I think more than I did in the past. You know, the more I just with like the overall scene and what's happening. You know.
Yeah, it's like a really cool time with avant-garde rap music right now too. It's like getting a lot of love, and there's like a lot of good people making a lot of good records. And getting outside of like the zone, and it's all being received well. It's like, and that community feels like it's bubbling once again, which is awesome. So, but like, I also think, I'm just thinking about, you know, you're like, there's an oversaturation with the internet, and I think about kind of what it was like. I mean, we're like half internet kids, right? So like we had it but it wasn't what it was.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So you kind of just, there was a lot of like, you would get a magazine from a friend, or you would get like a VHS tape or something, or like it was just word of mouth, or it was like the channels were different, but it was still there. And I think there was less opportunity for people to even know how to put a record out or how to do a show. So you would have less people doing stuff, but maybe their success was greater when they did break through. Whereas now it's like everything is so accessible. So there's like the potential for more visibility, but maybe the success isn't as great. But you can really sustain a life through these ways, like, and you can go directly to the people that want it too. And it might be, you know, there's this thing like the 100 or the 1,000 true fans just seems like that is really doable for every person making
thing.
something, right? So, but it's just like you just have to grind to meet those people. But not even to harp on like success, but just thinking about like the opportunity is there to be able to do it.
I remember seeing this some clip of some like no jumper thing where they were like, it was something where it was like, what is the future of rap or something, and it was like interesting to hear from the perspective of these dudes. I kind of hate those dudes, to be honest. But
I do have a love-hate for No Jumper. But go ahead.
I've always loved Lush One from the grind time shit. But like, it was interesting to hear these guys who's like that style of rap they talk about. They think that's like the only legitimate rap. Almost is like whatever, you know, like basically like Bronx drill music and like that kind of thing. And like they were talking about the Griselda dudes, and they were like that sort of they were like, yeah, that's kind of the only thing that's popping. They're like those dudes they have fans that will buy like records and buy shirts and you know what I mean?
I was one of them. So I can attest to that.
Yeah, like I don't know. I just that like really stood out to me as far as like it's like, yeah, that's even the Griselda thing. It's big to us, but it's small in the grand scheme. But it's like small in a way where they're like really doing well for themselves. You know what I mean? Which I don't know. I think that's something worth noting.
I mean, that was part of the reason why I sent you that Descendants documentary. Like, I thought it was really funny, like, because they were like, Descendants is considered this like transcending punk band that like was like so ahead of their time, and like even though they had like small shows, and like one of the things they talked about, like, we've been touring for like years and years and years and years, and we're broke living in this like studio, you know?
Right.
To piggyback on what you were saying before, like, I think success is all perspective. Like,
oh yeah, totally.
Like, yeah, Griselda shit. Like, Griselda shit is awesome. I was like so into Griselda, like at like the height of it. And yeah, like in the scheme of things, like they're bigger than us, but like, are they as big as like Drake or whatever? You know, it's like the perspective of it. But like, they're sustaining on what they do. So like.
Yeah, from their perspective, they might feel like they're in this tiny little sub world or something.
And for like the Descendants, it's like they were broke, but like how many 30 whatever years later, they're considered like one of the greatest punk bands ever. So like, I guess there's like perspective of like what success really is.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, what's success? I mean, what does success look like? Like, for me, success is 400, 800 people in the room. Everyone's like tuned in, like, and really feeling it, right? So, because then I could really feel it. Or like if I watch like a Travis Scott concert, like, YouTube clip, that feeling of a stadium, everyone being on one accord on the same page, that shared expression, that is success. Like, that is the thing. Like, because you put out a vibe and holy shit, this shit transmitted and to people you've never met before. You know? And so, I mean, to me, that's like success. Like, and being able to push your own journey, your artistic journey to the next level. That's what we talk so much about. Like, what are the things that we can honestly say we've been not nervous, but like maybe we fucked with, but haven't really, really, really sat down and really like sunk our teeth in. And a lot of that was melody, hooks, things like that. Like, really going in there and having this as a thought so that when people come to the shows, they could really rock out with us and not just having this free form verse and this other thing and that thing. Because sometimes, you know, when you are so-called experimental, it sometimes means you have nothing reining you in. And so I like a lot of shit, but I don't remember it. Because you didn't give me anything to remember.
Sure.
So with us, we not only give you the songs to remember, but now you come to the show, you gonna remember the vibe forever.
Yeah.
Because there's someone I talked to last night who came to a show I did in New Kingdom in like 2001, and was talking about the same feeling. So those feelings don't leave, like, you know, and then that's how you know, like, you had a successful career.
Yeah.
You know.
Like, I'm sorry to cut you off. You can go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I love the you know, we're just talking about success. It's like the carry through from your work 20 plus years ago that is still resonating and carrying into the new project. I think it's been like 3 out of the 5 nights where there's been a person that's like, I'm a New Kingdom fan and that's why I'm here, and the new shit is I'm on board.
That was my number one personal goal, is like, anyone who's still riding, I want them to be the first people to be like, I'm so proud. Like, I'm proud. Yeah. This is my guy. Yeah. Holy shit. This has never been done. Yeah. Where the person has come back, not sounding like, but for the reasons why I liked them in the first place, because they were forward momentum, pushing something. But even people now, they say, man, but it's even catchier.
And not to overshadow like your career as well, Dan, because you're like, the people are coming out who have been coming out. That were like coming out to the
Dan is a rock star.
We were doing.
Every place we go.
I know. It's like
every single place we go, people are like, so how'd you guys meet? I've been following Dan. I'm like, oh my God, this is a rock star. Like, what's going on here?
You're building off the shoulders of like all of your past work, the two of you.
It's crazy.
Like, you know, it's Twin Peaks. We're standing on the Twin Peaks.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to talk about New Kingdom a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm new to I mean, as a novice, you want to just like...
I don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't know where to begin. Dan would know.
Okay. Dan, you want to talk about New Kingdom?
I'm scared, but I'll try.
I wouldn't know where to begin.
I believe it begins in a clothing store.
Yeah. That's it. That's a ticket.
And there was thievery going on of clothing by 2 employees who felt they were about to get caught and decided rhymes were a better way to get paid than stealing more clothes.
That's right. Canal jeans. That's right. And we said we could rob a bank or we could get a record deal. Let's get a record deal. And we put our sights to get a record deal, and we did. And we got a record deal without doing a show. We were lucky because we met Scott Harding, and he had a lot of contacts, and he helped us. He engineered and helped us produce our demo. And and then we put this record out that was like, we didn't really know what we were doing, which was great. And it was like a weird jazz Jimi Hendrix experience, where, because we made some of it in London, so everybody thought we were from there. So we do shows there. Everybody loved us. We come home. People are like, what do you do for a living? I was like, I wish I couldn't even walk down the street last week. I'm like a jazz musician. I love this. I'm like, And Yeah. So we were just like on some real like, we didn't even call it avant-garde. I mean, we thought it was, I still think what I do is just hip hop. But yeah, we were like, what? People think we're experimental. What does that mean? Like we thought we were making hip hop records. And but yeah, so we did that, and then we put this record out. Paradise Don't Come Cheap was our second record, which is like the record everybody really talks about. And it's a cool record. It's like some Captain Beefheart like hip hop shit.
What year was it?
Our first record came out in '98.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the second one, I'm not sure when it came out. 2001? No, not 2001. I don't know, maybe I have those confused. Maybe, first record was 94 and the second record was 98, maybe. I don't
96, know. I think.
96, yeah, something like that. And yeah, it was crazy. We had a great time. We toured with a lot of bands like the Red Ants, Royal Trucks, Censor. We never toured with a hip hop, like so-called hip hop group. Like it was always a festival with Dick Dale, like over here or this over there. Like
that's wild. You play with Dick Dale.
Mm-hmm. That's why, like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm
King of the surf guitar.
And I took a long time off. I stayed at home with my kids, but the whole time, I keep telling people, the whole time I took off, these guys were building this world where you didn't have to go now to some booker for shows who didn't know if you were too hip hop or too rock and roll. And because they built the world, they built like their own chitlin circuit. Like, you know what I'm saying? All these years. And it's just like, I always, when I'm talking to Lucid, I'm like, I can't, y'all set the table for me to basically come back where I left off. But now there's a whole infrastructure of places to go and things where we had to like really, grind or get an agent or a manager had to, everybody had to like look for places for us to go. But now it's just set up. So it's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you're a big part of that because you've been doing this for so long and kind of like carving those
Harriet
paths.
Tubman.
Yeah.
Harriet Tubman.
Yeah, like what we were saying a minute ago.
Over
Like,
here.
that was one of the funny things about going on tour with Dan. Is like every place you go, they're like, "Oh yeah, I played with Dan at this place X amount of months ago, or like X amount of years ago," and it's like every place we went, everyone knew him, and it was really fucking cool.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was booked by me, so that's where I decided to play.
But that's the thing. They all say, I always come and see Hype Keech when he's in. To me, that's the thing, right? Like to return business because you don't have to come see me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've already seen me play. You know what I mean? So it's cool. And they're like, and they're so receptive of the record. So it's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you want to talk about the new record a little bit?
Yeah,
Late Generators?
totally.
Yeah.
This is another where do we begin? But I think it kind of started with like us like I kind of had this like very loose idea for a group, but the big thing was like wherever it ends up, it'll be like these live sets, and like a something that's like tour ready kind of.
Yeah.
And then we had like a bunch of early sessions where I feel like we just kind of went all over the place and had different people in the mix and like tried stuff, and then it kind of like narrowed down to the two of us, I feel.
Okay.
And like and even then I feel like it took a while to like be like get kind of like our main songs from the album and stuff. But yeah, it was a really cool process, Did
you, because you just moved to New York, were you guys meet in New York, or was it before?
I think we met through Darko putting us on a song together.
Okay.
But that was like us all each separately emailing him.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh wow, Nosaj is on the track. But like, and then he gets on the Necessary People album, and we like worked on a few different small things, but so we like knew each other through that, and then like it kind of just like all worked out that I like accidentally moved to New York and then we're like doing this project at the same time, you know.
Yeah,
Oh, and then you put out the Acid is Groovy Kill the Pigs record.
That's right. Yeah,
Right,
Cole
right,
Rhymes
right.
put out his Acid is Groovy Kill the Pigs.
Isn't that one of the tightest names ever?
Oh, absolutely.
It's-
I can't think of anything better than that.
Yeah, with the one and only V8. Yeah, I mean, that was our collaboration. That was great. That was really great.
Yeah, that's fire. I mean, yeah, the one thing I do love about, like, because you mentioned it, like, earlier in the conversation, but, like, your way of picking, like, I don't know if it's, like, a conscious thing you do, but, like, you pick these artists that all kind of have their own thing. Like, I don't know if avant-garde is, like, the best way to put it, but it's, like, they all, like, no one's, like, kind of the same. Like, P.T. Burnham or, like, you know, you had me on a couple of joints. Like, it's, like, these guys are kind of like have their own lane that they're in.
Oh,
It's
totally.
always kind of like unique.
Which I feel, yeah, is like, it's like really, it's really important to me, and it's like I feel like, I don't know. I think a lot of it comes from touring, and I mean, because you know how it goes. Like, there were some grim nights with like the cats we would play with in certain spots. Like,
Yeah.
like I feel like when you find people that are just so tight, and it's like just like happening like on this like local level, it's like, oh my God, we got to keep, keep this moving and like do more. And like I don't know, I was thinking about that last night because I was thinking about in 2011 playing with Progress Report, who we played with last night, and Pasalacqua, who we played with half of Pasalacqua last night. But it was like just this feeling of like, wow, like this is something that can happen. Like you know what I mean? Like like groups like this are just like down to play in a warehouse with you, it makes you want to just tell everybody in the world.
I mean, when I started playing shows, that's all I wanted to do was just play anywhere.
Yeah
Like,
totally.
I played so many like random places because it's like, you want me to play? Like, hell yeah. And then, like, I played a lot of art galleries, a lot of just like random, but yeah, that's like all you want to do when you're like starting out, just fucking play. And all the time.
Sometimes, but I also think there's people that they're like, I'm not even like leaving the house until it's like, I want my first show to be like my fantasy of what a show is. And I don't know. I feel
it's never that. Though.
Yeah,
it's never that.
I feel like that impedes a lot of people from like even getting started or something.
Yeah. Let go of that dream. Just play whatever you can play. I remember, when like Paul and I were doing the Anonymous, like, it was so hard for us to get shows. Like, because no one knew who we were. So like, I used to like beg like places to put us on, and they wouldn't. Right. And then it wasn't until we linked up with like Woodbridge Records and like Summer Pledge and those guys, and like they started putting us on. And then we started playing with like the Creepy Crawlers and like.
Oh yeah.
Then we played a lot of shows with the Creepy Crawlers, and like then people started to pick up on us, and that's when it was like, oh, you guys want to play this festival, or you guys want to play this Daly and that? I was like, okay. And then it was cool. We had a good run. Anonymous had a good run.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, but that's all. That's all I have on that topic.
It takes a community though. It's like you have to. It's I feel like I'm being redundant. I say it every day, but it's like you got to get in where you fit in.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes that. Also, like. Let me be even more redundant and quote Brian Eno, but it's like he talks about like the genius of an artist is never the case. It's the scenius, which is his term that he created. But it's like it takes a collective of people to all kind of be working together, grinding towards the same thing, and like lifting each other up. And only through that can you kind of like get somebody up. You know what I mean? True. So. But that's what's always, been going on. So
then somebody drops the anthem for the scene.
Exactly. Yeah.
Smells like Teen Spirit.
You're right.
Yeah. A bunch of hair bands out there.
Yeah.
Like corporate rappers. Nirvana comes in and.
Right.
Yeah, that's what Paul and I
Right.
were talking about. This we're having a conversation about disruptors. Like 50 Cent was like a disruptor. Like DMX was like a disruptor.
Huh.
Like when like the scene sort of like this, you know, and then this one guy or band or whatever comes in and it's like, oh, like you can do it this way. Like I remember when Get Rich or Die Trying came out, I wasn't even listening to rap at the time because I was so bored with it. And then when I heard, I can't remember what track it even was, and I was like, holy shit.
Must
this
have
is-
been many men.
I was like, this is crazy. Like, what the fuck? Like, it was just so, like, far out there. Even though it was, like, this crazy mix of, like, a radio-friendly record, but at the same time, it was, like, a street album, and it was,
Yeah.
like, the perfect 50-50, no pun intended. But I was just like, oh, this is crazy. And, like, that's how I felt when, you know, Puff Daddy and everything was on the radio, and then Rough Riders Anthem came out. And it's like, whoa. Like, yeah, those shits are always cool to me. Like, I feel like it happens every so many years, but there's always just like
Odd Future.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Odd
Yeah.
Future, that's a good one. Yeah, like
Yeah.
artists or like would just come and just be like, now we're going this way.
Well, Timberland. I mean, I think
Oh wow.
yeah, Timberland. Like studying him is so dope because like, he has babies crying in the back. He has all this, but melody is king. Like the melodies are so strong on the Aaliyah shit, on the Player shit, on Genuine, Missy, Justin Timberlake, that allows him to kind of be kind of ill. You're like, how the hell is this fucking pop radio? It's because the melody was so strong. And they're just floating over his weirdness and shit. And it's just like, oh shit, you really were on some spook who sat by the door shit. Like you infiltrated a whole thing and on some crazy shit that shouldn't even be on the radio.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's-
There's a funny video on YouTube of Kanye West talking about when he made Stronger. It was the same time Justin Timberlake put out Sexy Back. And he was like, I was trying to make Stronger to beat Sexy Back. And he's like, I just couldn't get the drums right. And he's like, he names all these different producers he went to kind of to get the right drums. And he's like, finally, he just went to Timberland, who made Sexy Back. And
yeah, I
he's
saw.
like, yeah, he saw it, and he's like, and it's like Timberland not only showed me the drums, he showed me why I was doing it wrong in like 5 minutes. And he's like, it was the craziest shit.
I think he got Pete
That's
Rock. He got
crazy.
either Pete Rock or Premier to do something similar on a project. He was
Yeah,
like, he was
yeah.
trying to get certain snares, and he was like, why not just? Which is why I love, really checking out like Kanye West, like his making of his albums, because he brings everybody into the factory to give you the best shit that he could possibly give you.
Yeah.
So he could just have Kid Cudi here, just only writing hooks and bridges over here,
Yeah.
and this. I mean, that to me is like you really give a fuck about your consumer. Like you trying to give them the best of the best that you.
It's
could
just like an
possibly
obsessive
give them.
artist too.
Yeah, to really like fuck that. Yes, I could, because anyone. He is Kanye West. Yes, I could get these to be some premier symbols, but I could also ask him to come do the snare. You know what I'm saying? Or some snares, like you know what I mean? And yeah. So it's dope. Yeah, he's super dope like that.
Yeah, his early stuff's like really crazy to listen to. Like his early, like those first three are like my favorite albums. And even in some of his later stuff,
College
really good too.
Dropout. Yeah, I love College
Yeah.
Dropout. Yeah.
And I like the Twisted Fantasy. That shit is
Yeah,
crazy.
he was really like, yeah, he was just really in there. Like he just knew how to make these like songs that were just crazy. Like you know, I don't know if I realized it at the time, but like listening back to it, it's like, damn, where did he come up with that shit? Well, yeah, there's like few producers like that for me, but yeah.
Yeah, he's good. I mean, it sound like it. We got in New Kingdom, we got a song called Unicorns, Wars, and the song Suspended in there. All those. So when I heard Twisted Fantasy and even some of the Pablo joints, I was like, it's almost like, not to be like that, but to be like that. Like if those New Kingdom songs had babies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they dropped down and shit, and they were they're younger, they speak differently. But the kind of like what Scott Harding was doing with the production, and you could hear it, like you see, like oh shit, yeah, I can see that shit.
Yeah, Father Stretch My Hands is one of my favorite ones on Pablo. That one hits real hard.
Yeah. I like some of the Pablo shit, but the Twisted Family, and then what's the one where Runaway?
That was Twisted Fantasy.
That was on Twisted Fantasy.
Yeah.
Too? Oh man, yeah. See, that album is great.
That was good. I stopped after Yeezus. I haven't listened to it since Yeezus, but yeah.
Yeezus was cool. That might be the like I didn't listen to everything because I was kind of like, this guy's crazy.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel sad.
Yeah.
He's just like a sick person, but like it's almost like the creative part of him just like took over or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he like the Yeezus was interesting because I remember I was kind of like done checking for Kanye, but the studio I was going to, like my producer friends, they're like engineers and shit, and they were like this record is really important for like engineering and sonics of music in the era that we were at. And so I listened to it from that aspect, and I was like, they're right. It's fucking bonkers. It's like everything just is like completely maxed out, but yet listenable. It's like almost just like a practice of like pushing boundaries or something. It's kind of just like, it sounds like nothing else. It's just weird.
Cause I mean, I'm like, what did Chuck D say? I don't rhyme for the sake of Ritalin. Like, Kanye's old school. He tried to make an impact record. Like, I'm not just gonna make a record. I'm making the best record, like the best record. You know, it's competitive. That's how it's supposed to be. EPMD. You know what I'm saying? Like PE, Run DMC, Houdini, everyone making impactful, huge records, but also looking at, oh, this is what you guys did. Like I told Lucid, he like, I flagged him down. I saw him in his car. I flagged him down. I said, yo, you trying to raise the bar too much. You keep putting these records out. I listened to that. His last, the Test Strips record, and Danny Brown and J Peg Mafia. I listened to them both when I was walking my dog in the park. I had to sit down on a bench and listen to them. And we were making our record at the time. And I was like, oh. And then I just happened to see him a couple of days later. I was like, oh. I said, you really, woof. That's a high mark you got up there. I mean, you really are pushing this shit. And I was just so happy because that's what it's supposed to be. Like,
because then it's driving you to
it's driving you to
push it,
to be your most authentic self. To find the freedom in you, but also be competitive. This is your project. Like, you remember we had the wave generators, the final mixes. Listen, I know people in my neighborhood. I'm walking my dog. They thought I was crazy. I'm just listening to it, and I'm like yelling. I said, nobody. I mean, everywhere I said, nobody's fucking with this shit. I said, I don't care what kind of music you making. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's competitive, impactful music. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not here for bullshit. Like, and that's Kanye West. No matter what, he's like, I'm not here to play with you. I'm here like when it's gonna be a moment, and we don't have that in hip hop where like it's an event when people put records out. It used to be an event, when people put records out. Now people put so many records out that they're like, oh, it's Bandcamp Friday. It's like throwaways and shit. Like,
right.
What? You crazy? When I put this shit out, I'm trying to blow your head off with this bad boy. Like, you know. And
I fully agree with that. You miss that kind of feeling
because so many fans making music and stuff. So it's like, it's hard to get a separation between people who are gonna do this and people who do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this, you know, a difference between a teacher and like an educator. You know what I'm saying? I want my children to have an educator. I don't want them to have somebody who just is doing this for a couple of years and they're gonna go ahead and do something else.
Yeah, I do miss the anticipation of a record.
You only get Kendrick. You know what I'm saying? You anticipate, you know, but you know.
It's almost just like they're like this. There's only 5 of them or something.
Right. And but that's corporate hip hop, right? But that's you know, in that universe. But in this universe, you know, when Arm & Hammer is about to drop something, everybody freaks out. JPEG Mafia. I think he's the most. Like when he's about to drop some shit, everyone's talking about this shit. And that's dope. I mean,
we were talking about before. You know, it's like you have the niche, the like that's the people that you're reaching for might be smaller than what it was 20, 30 years ago, but it's like it can be an impact for them, and that buzz is like what it is. Yeah,
boutique hotel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with a Lucid and Arm & Hammer?
Didn't we play with a Lucid? Or maybe I'm thinking something else.
I don't think so.
I might be thinking someone different.
I feel like you would be into it. They're like Billy Woods and a Lucid, Backwoods Studios. They're like,
it does sound familiar.
Yeah, they're having a really, really spectacular 5 years, and
that's good.
Everybody's championing them. They're killing it.
That's cool. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, So I always see my people succeed like that. It's cool. I mean, I was in the scene. I know how tough it is. Selling merch, going to the show, hoping people come out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there. Yeah. I think it's it strengthens you in a lot of ways too. I remember talking to Matt Black. Shout out to Matt Black. I played a show with him, and only 10 people showed up, and he was super bummed. And I was like, well, yeah, this happens. And he's like, really? It's never happened, because he was really selective about, I'm only gonna play this show for this kind of money or with this kind of person. So he was lucky to have the success of having shows that weren't dead,
Oh yeah.
But when you play me, I was just playing everything. So I was oh, no one in the crowd. All right, get used to it after a few times.
And I think even I feel different tours that I've opened for people on or tagged along with, it's people can be, you can be have a huge draw in 50 cities or something, but then you play in city number 51 and there's 20 people in a room that holds 1,000 or something, nobody is ever above that ever. So it's I don't know, it goes down, and it's I there's so many things where I'm the key is just not just don't take it personally.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, Mister used to always post this video on my Facebook of when the Anonymous played with Pasalacqua in Philly in I don't know 2011 or something. And he used to always post it. It's me rapping, and he zoomed all the way out so you can see how empty the room is. And it's just I'm just rapping to just just empty space. And he'd always, every once in a while, he'd just be like, hey, remember this? And just post it on my shit.
Right.
Ouch. Do you remember the venue?
I don't.
I want to find out.
Yeah, he'll probably know.
Because this is before I knew you guys.
Yeah, he'll probably know. But yeah,
I feel
it was a long time.
Was it that H2O spot?
H2O.
I don't know. Yeah, I'd have to. He'll know. If you ask him, he'll definitely know it. But yeah, this was 2000, I think 2011. Yeah.
I mean, to the same regard, sometimes playing the room is just cold.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and I think can all relate to that. It's sometimes you might have a room that's 10 people, but they're all just got a boner. They're let's fucking go, and you're just rocking, and they're right there with you, and the energy is so it's 10 people like that. I'll take any night versus
absolutely
a room of 40 people that are half on their phone or chatting or just in the room or just brick. The room is just fucking cold. That's really difficult. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel I'm just thinking about being from Philly. I think there's a reputation of having people who want to watch you fail being in the crowd.
Wow.
Vicious people in Philadelphia as far as spectators.
Wow.
That's the cliche at least. And I feel it wasn't until I got more into the art spaces and the art community where I was just fuck all that. But I used to rock with my man Flip. We used to do these events where I first kind of started cutting my teeth. It was just he would always get a live band to play the events, the rap shows. So it would be featured artists. The band would play between, and then at the end it was a jam session. You had to go up. It was just that's how you get on. And if you can do it, then maybe you're on the next show. And so it was you just got to get up and start rocking, and it's like those crowds felt a little vicious.
Isn't Philly the same way with sports? Like
exactly, yeah. We threw batteries at Santa Claus.
Yeah.
We killed that traveling robot. That robot traveled the world and made it to Philly, and we fucking destroyed it.
Yeah, Philly's a tough sports town. Yeah,
straight assholes.
But you guys got the Eagles. You guys won though, so you guys can.
Did they just play? I don't follow sports.
The Eagles won, I think so, a few years ago.
Oh, the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
It was like 2018, I think.
Yeah. It still counts. I mean, the Pistons haven't won since 2004, but we still use that. You know, like Pistons are never good, but we're always like, oh yeah, the time we won.
I'm still just like Allen Iverson is the king.
Yeah,
I go that far back because that's probably the last time I watched sports too. Also,
respect.
Yeah,
I respect that. I was a big Iverson fan.
Who wasn't?
Yeah, that crossover was out of this world.
Legendary.
Yeah. So how's the transition been from Baltimore to New York?
Oh, it's been really cool. It's been like super fun. Like I've been just trying to make an effort to like be like, okay, I'm in this awesome place, so let me just go to as many things as possible. And I don't know. I feel like a lot of times in Baltimore, I'd be like, why am I not getting off the couch or something? And I feel like a lot of that actually is like traveling and then coming home and being like, I just want to like watch Netflix or whatever. But like, I've just been trying to take advantage of everything and like, you know, like see what's good. And that's been like really awesome, you know? And like, I don't know. I feel like it's been really cool. Like we've tried, like for shows, it feels like we've tried these different venues and stuff, and they've all been tight. And it kind of feels like we could go on forever finding different spots. Like just because it's so much bigger.
In
like,
New York.
Like I feel like in smaller cities, maybe sometimes it can feel like I want to rap. And then it's like, this is where rap is. And then if no one likes you or you don't like them, it's just, that's it. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I don't know. It feels kind of like wide open, you know?
That's cool. Yeah. I feel like a big city like that is always something to do.
Yeah, totally. And I think my friend Blake said something that he moved from Sacramento to New York, and he was saying like part of what the weird trade-off, it's like I think you get used to being in one place and everybody knows you. Like you just walk down the street and people are like, oh, what's up, man? And then like that just does not happen in the same way, at least where I am in like the Bronx. Like it's like it's so big. And like I remember like before our record release party, I was just like I thought we had a cool little turnout, and it was and I was like really happy with it. But like leading up to it, I was like, I have no idea if anyone knows about this or they're gonna go, because it's like you just don't like see people in the same way. At least I don't, you know, where like, so I'm like, I just have to hope that this will work. And it did.
That's cool. Yeah. Do you feel like it's a bad, or do you feel like it's a good, like kind of being like unknown, not like unknown, but like you can kind of float under the radar a little bit?
I mean, I guess what Blake was saying, which I related to, is just like, I think he was saying it's kind of like a false sense of security or something. It's like, it's like I'm walking around Sacramento and everybody knows me, but it's like, who cares, kind of?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, like you can kind of be like limited by that in some ways or something.
I mean, Detroit was like that a lot. Like, you know, you played a lot of the same places, see all the same people. You know, I was always recognized, oh, you're the guy that the album with the cow on the cover. Like, I was always that guy for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it was cool. I mean, like, I'm not like mad about it. You know, you get
Right, right,
recognized,
right.
you get have some good conversation.
Right.
But you know, I mean, I don't know if you feel the same way, but you get stuck in sort of like that cycle, you know, and then you're like, I mean, for me, we were talking off air earlier about like living in different places, and it's like, I think me personally, I got kind of like, is there more than this, or is this like it? I don't know if you felt that same way
For like music in general.
I mean, or just like sort of the scene, you know, like when you're sort of like, oh, this is it. Like, I'm just going to go to this place on Friday, this place on Saturday. I'm going to see X person. I'm going to see this person. And then, like, that's it. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you feel differently. I kind of felt like that.
I kind of think the thing is to, like, keep trying things and keep, like, kind of being creative with how to put things together. Like, just, like, one example, like, one of my best friends is in this band called Darsambra, and we kicked around the idea a little bit of touring over the years, but it like never came to be. And then Jason called me up and he was like, this band Darsambra is crazy, and like I just saw this video, and like what if we could like do a show with them? And like I was kind of like done, you know, like, and it's like,
and you didn't know that they knew that?
Yeah, like,
that's awesome.
Like, I don't know. It's like even things like that. I'm like, why didn't I think of it already? It's like it's like a whole different type of environment to play in, and like I think sometimes you can be like, I'm in the rap scene, and these people have invited me to do this, and I'm just here. But it's like it doesn't have to be that way, you know?
Yeah.
Like, and I feel like it's sometimes it just takes like reaching out a little bit and like, like being proactive, kind of like not waiting for everybody else to show you where you belong or something like that.
See, I've always been the opposite, because like this is the most I've ever like watched other rappers before I performed.
Okay, yeah.
Like in the last
wild,
4 days, like
Right.
it's always been on the other side, like, you know, some, you know, whatever band, like punk rock or whatever band before I went on. It's always Lollapalooza. It was never not, like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I always get like so like amped when, you know what I'm saying, before the show, because I'm like, oh, this is nothing like us, but it's everything like us. That's why we're in the same bill.
Right.
And so it's so inspiring, and then you go on and shit. Whereas like, you know, when a rap thing is different, maybe it's because it's what I do. So I break it down so much. I'm so judgmental about it that like if I have to watch it before I go on, sometimes it's not the best thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have to really tell myself, just be in the moment and don't try to break everything down. Or like try to, you know what I'm saying? But it's just an MC in you when you see other people rapping.
You're talking about like putting out competitive albums. It's the same competition, right?
Yeah. It's just a thing that you like. But I'm not used to having that vibe before a show, before I go on.
Right.
Like I like having an open vibe, like before I go on. It's because but you know, so then it just takes me a second, because usually if I first 20 seconds, I'm gonna be on some MC shit. Just on my brain is just like, you know, I don't know. It's just some rap shit. I don't know. But
it is definitely a different feeling when you're playing a mixed bill.
Yeah, you just open. You're right. Yeah, it's just, and I just always have done that. So, I used to dream, like I was literally have dreams. I was on tour where, what's that, Go-Go Bordello?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this is the tour. This is the tour to be on. Like, this is shit is crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what kind of record you're going to write after that tour? Because you're going to be influenced by so much shit.
Yeah.
So,
damn, that's a good question. Like, who would you want to tour with if you could have, like, your choice, dead or alive?
Right now, the group, what's the group from Brooklyn?
Oh, Tears La Familia?
Tears La Familia. And then
that can easily happen.
Sharif and Haddad.
Sharif had it. Yeah.
Yeah, Sharif had it.
That was like an incredible gem from. It was all of our first time playing in Scranton.
Oh.
And we played with these two dudes called Sharif and Had It. And and there was just like some really excellent kind of like noisy rap stuff.
Fusion. Yeah, it was just, oh man, it was just really, really good.
Yeah.
And Wade.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Wade Wilson's The Family.
So but you know, Jimi Hendrix, obviously. Obviously.
Damn, a tour of Jimi Hendrix would be crazy.
Hell yeah, Santana, Jimi Hendrix. Yeah, when I was a little kid, I used to have dreams Jimi Hendrix would be calling me from the side of the stage. And I come on and do a song, and then I wake up and be like, what song was that? What song was that? I can't remember what song it was. But hell yeah, shit like that, because it make you, you know, gotta be ready. You know what I'm saying?
I had a similar dream like that recently where I don't know how it happened, but I'm really into this band called Every Time I Die.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had this dream that for some reason they asked me to play guitar on like one of their live sets, but I don't know how to play guitar. So I was like faking it. And then they busted me. They were like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you don't like, and I was like so embarrassed. Like, I was like, oh no, like they figured me out. And then I woke up and I was like, man, that was crazy.
Damn. It's a nightmare.
That was scary. Like I was like, oh man, this is a dream situation. But I'm like, I don't know how to play guitar. I'll just fake it. And
Fuck.
They busted me. Cold busted.
Imposter syndrome.
I mean, I probably would have done that in real life had the situation come up. Like, if like Deftones or whatever, like, oh, come on and play this one song. I'd be like, okay. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. But.
You're just like on the mic, right?
I feel like that was she held it down perfectly, but the second lady that came up last night during Progress Report, I felt like that was like
This little sister.
Yeah. It was like a woman got called up to sing, and then she was like, "I'm not doing it unless like so and so comes up as well." And like the
she
second,
was like, no.
Yeah, she was like, no. Yeah. And then it seemed like she just like she actually sounded like she could sing, but definitely, but like it kind of did seem like she was in a bad dream. Just like you had no idea you were going to be like,
yeah. She didn't want to be there.
That's sad. Shout out to that woman. I hope she survived.
But I felt like by the end of the song, it was like all love. I think.
Yeah, you can't be tough on a person like that.
Yeah.
If they're not expecting it.
Who would be your dream touring partner?
It'd be cool to tour with like Cold Crush Brothers or something.
I knew you were gonna say that. It would work too.
Yeah, you fit in perfect.
Yeah, it would be hard.
Who would you tour with?
I could see like
Billy Joel.
Ooh, that'd be so sick, man. That'd be so sick.
I couldn't hang with the Piano Man.
Hell yeah, that would be a good tour.
That'd be fire. I would come to that show for sure.
Like first record Gorillaz when Del was still with and Automator was with him. I feel like that would be cool. Like weird fringe rap, other kind of music. Maybe like that I love that record. I go with Gorillaz.
That's a good answer.
KMD. I can see him tour with KMD.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, I can see you guys fitting in with like anyone.
Loop Pack.
Oh yeah, Loop Pack. 95 South.
Loop Pack. That sounds familiar.
That's like Mad Lib's original.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Loop Pack.
Okay. Yeah, that'd be fire. I could see you guys fitting in on those.
Yeah, that's the dope shit about festivals is that you go on and you get to see so much great shit, but you're like, holy shit, we're on a bill. We're playing. Bjork is playing here tonight.
Yeah,
we're on the same bill, and all these people in between. What? No segregation at all. And I think that's what it's coming back to now. I mean, at least from our tour, I could tell there's no segregation. It's like if it's hot, it's hot.
Yeah, I think that's all like that's a myth. Like I used to just play strictly rap shows. And it's like it's such a myth. Like you can play with anyone.
You can play with anyone. If you're good, and that goes back to, is your song good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Well, is it good? Like, that's it. Is it good?
Yeah.
If it is, then you should be able to play in an old folks home, in a whatever home, and you just might have to stylize it
Right.
kind of different. But if it's a good song, it's a good song.
Yeah. Yeah, and if your stage presence is on point.
Yeah. If something about it is like, okay, yeah. Because there's always people, which is, I used to think it was weird at first, but not anymore. I don't even listen to rap, but I listen to you.
Oh yeah, I used to.
And it's always a white person saying it.
Oh, of course.
So, I'm always saying, I'm always like, are you trying to say I'm different than the other Negroes?
They're basically saying I'm racist, but you make me feel
no.
not racist.
Well, no, because I know that it's only me who's thinking these things. They're literally saying, I never fucked with a rap record until I saw you, heard your record,
Right.
and it touched the references of whatever, right? Like I could say about Jack. But me on the inside, I sometimes receive that as, oh, it sounds like what you're saying when somebody says, oh, no, he's not like them. He's my friend from work. Right, because you're right, but that's all on me. You know what I'm saying? That's all on me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's because I'm reading too many Jimi Hendrix books. You know what I'm saying? Because he always talked about like, oh shit, it's so dope to blow up, but it's crazy that when you blow up, there's no one who looks like you in front of you.
Sure.
And that's just a mind. But once you make records, it's not up to you who's in front of you.
True.
Once you put the record out, it has nothing to do with you anymore. Whoever holds on to it and feels it, then that's who, But it's, we used to have it like every night, 3 or 4 times a night. And then after a while, just like, well, is they saying something else? Am I missing something? And I just couldn't take it, you know what I'm saying? But literally, it was just people being cool as fuck, being like, nah, dude. And I'm sure I've done that to other people, being like, yo, I don't even fuck with whatever.
Right.
But y'all fuck with your shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Country
like, and not
music.
even thinking about it because it's coming from me.
Sure.
I actually said that to Violent J from ICP. Now that I think about it, I ran into Violent J at a bar one time, and we were just having a conversation.
Did he have face paint on?
He didn't.
Okay.
And then that was the first thing he asked me was, how did you recognize me? That's what he asked me. But I told him, because at the time I didn't really listen to ICP, and I told him, I was like, I don't know shit about your guys' music.
Yeah.
But at that time, Mr. and I went to an ICP show, I think maybe like a week prior.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, yeah, I don't really know shit about your music, but like I fuck with it. And he's like, oh man, that's really cool. Like, thanks.
That's cool. That's clownism.
Another funny thing about that, bringing up the face paint, is there was a young, like, he looked young. I don't know, it was a bar, so he probably was like 21. But like, he came up to Violent J when I was talking to him, and he's like, can I get a picture with you? And Violent J was like, nah, I don't have my face paint on. I don't do that. Like, without the face paint.
Let's go, yeah.
And the kid, like, looked like he was about to cry.
Oh, shit.
And Violent J was so apologetic. He's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm so sorry. He didn't end up taking the picture with it, but it was just so, like, weird. I was like, whoa, like, this is, like, a weird moment. Like,
Yeah,
like,
man.
when you hear the music, you feel like he's, like, this guy. But, like, when you see him in real life, he was just, like...
Clark Kent.
Yeah, he was, like, so chill. He's like, I really can't do it. I'm
Kent,
sorry.
Yeah, I'm not on the
Yeah.
job right now.
Yeah.
I'm on chill mode. No, my favorite thing, the best thing ever to me is when somebody says, I don't know what the fuck to call what you do. I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but I love that shit. That
that's
to
right.
me is the number one, like, I don't know, I can't even describe, because that's all you're telling me is you don't have a template, and you're, everything that you have listened to and have seen, you can't put together what that's dope, that you like it. You don't know what to
It's so unique and new to them. They're
People
like,
kept telling, what do you call your music? Remember we did that show and the dudes was like, what the fuck do you call what you do? We were like, wave generators. I don't know.
Yeah, I never used to, like, people used to always ask me, like, oh, you rap? Like, what do you rap like? And I never knew how to answer that.
Me?
I'm like, I don't know.
Right. Like,
Like, I would never have an answer.
tornado spinning.
Like,
it's like Godzilla, but gold.
yeah, like, how do you answer a question like that?
Yeah, my go-to at like any kind of weddings or whatever you have to go to with people, with your partners, is if Jimi Hendrix were to rap. That's all I say.
That's great.
That's a good one.
It's difficult to get your like elevator pitch of what your
Right,
music is.
just to be like, okay, it's like this. But I think there's a part of
such a
me
mind
too,
fuck, yeah.
which once again, now I think about it, saying it out loud, there's a part of me that's telling this other person, it's almost like you're ashamed to say you're a rapper. So
Right.
I'm
Yeah,
a rapper,
right.
but I'm more like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Because of what is, when you think of hip hop or rap, you automatically, but that's, once again, that's a me thing.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's just a young art form. It's not old enough yet for people to be like, oh, you're a musician. What do you play? Rap.
Yeah.
But they're saying, what instrument do
It's
you
also
play?
such a diverse
Yeah.
genre too, right? It's like if you're like, yeah, I rap, they're like some person might just be like, this guy's Drake, or like,
Yeah.
this guy's
Well, yeah.
3-6 Mafia,
Right,
or
exactly.
like, this guy's KRS-One. You know, it's just like it's.
And usually when people
Hard
ask
to even do.
you what you do for a living, they're not asking you what you do for your fun. What you do for a living is because they're sizing you up. Now I know how much respect to give you. Now
Wow.
I'm doing so much if you tell me you're a rapper or you're a professor or you're a truck driver. Or what, I'm
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
so much, right? So I'm like, are you asking what I like to do or what do I do?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Because if you ask me what I like to do,
right.
you're gonna actually know more about me than what I do. If I have, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
or people say, "Oh, you're a rapper." I'm not gonna tell you what I do. I have a really boring job. I'm a financial consultant, and you're just
Right.
like, that's actually not boring at all. That's, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, it's so. Just tell me what you like to do.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't really care what you do unless it's gonna help me, or you know what I'm saying. Give me some free basketball tickets, but I'd rather find out what people do after
Yeah. That's.
Yeah.
after I leave. You know what I'm saying?
I'm
Like,
gonna take that one and run with that. Yeah, it's just like small talk bullshit. Yeah. It's
Yeah, like I don't really need to know
Who
what
are
you
you?
do.
Yeah.
Like it's a weird thing to ask. Like that has nothing to do with who you are, but I'm putting you into a box of who you are.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's a thing. Like once I say that, if I'm with my girl and I say that, and we're at her Harvard reunion,
Yeah.
then they're like, "Oh, so she makes all the money." Yeah. Right? Because that's what I would be
They
thinking.
start shaping.
Yeah.
Their
Like right,
ideas
like
about
because
it,
that's
yeah.
what you do when you ask people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you immediately, that's just what people do.
Yeah.
What men do, right? So sometimes you're gonna be like, okay, what you like to do.
That's yeah. I'm
Yeah, I used to have an
take that.
insecurity about that of like, if I say I rap, are they gonna take me seriously?
Right. And it's like, who are they? And
Yeah.
what is their seriousness? Like,
But it was probably all in my mind. But maybe it
right.
wasn't. I don't know. But like, I used to always be like really hesitant.
no, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a
Yeah.
real no. Yeah. Everybody's like that. And once you become an adult and you're going to functions where you're like, oh shit, this is like all right, cool. All right, okay, here it comes. 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 I heard you're a rapper.
Yup.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Here we
Yeah.
At the border, the Canadian border, they asked us what kind of music or what kind of hip hop, and I choked. I was just like, and then Don just came with Beastie Boys, and
Yeah. He was like, what kind? He's like, Beast Boys. He was like, oh, okay.
yeah, like I felt like after a lifetime of feeling like anything I've ever done is immediately compared to the Beastie Boys, no matter what it sounds like. It's like in that moment, I was like, thank God he said the Beastie Boys.
Who do you? This is because I can't remember what posse cut it was, but I had that Eminem line, and you made me take it out because you were like, oh, I spent my whole career getting compared to Eminem, like. So who do you get compared to that you think is like inaccurate?
I mean that's more like years ago. It'd just be, and it's like I think it's just a mix of like you're a white rapper,
Totally.
and all the audience that's mostly white. They only have 2 or 3 reference. It's like Beastie Boys, Sir Mix-a-Lot, maybe, and like Eminem. So it's like I guess it's like
Right.
it's like it's like if it. What do they say? It's like if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail or something. It's just like Beastie Boys, Beastie Boys, Beastie Boys. You know what I mean? Like, like anything sounds like the Beastie Boys if that's the only thing that you've heard before or something.
Yeah.
Which is like hands down one of my all-time favorite groups. So I don't know. Now it's more like whatever. That's at least they're not saying like Post Malone or something like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, I definitely don't see an Eminem comparison, but
Hell
I see
no.
what your point where you say that. Like, it makes more sense.
Yeah, it's not.
say it like
It's not
that,
anything to do with the music, which is
Yeah.
kind of what's so annoying. You know? What I mean?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
That makes when you put it like that, it totally makes sense.
Like I could totally see, like the Posse Cut, someone that's not as like adept at like listening to rap, like listening to the entire song and none of it like penetrates their mind at all, and then it's like the Eminem line and they're just like, I liked when he said the Eminem line.
Yeah. But yeah, I see your point. Like, I think when you don't come from, and this isn't an insult in any way, but like when you're not from this culture and you're not like familiar with like the artist and the culture and the
Right.
subgenre, like you're kind of just like, oh, this is this, you know? Like,
Yeah, and it's like that doesn't seem like, I felt like that used to seem really like diminishing or something, like, but like that's not how anybody means it. They're just like you were saying before, it's like when it's like, I don't like rap but I like you or something. It's like, it's probably more the case that that's literally what's happening.
No, it's the complete
sure.
little. But
Yeah.
when people say that, they're just saying they haven't heard rap that had
It resonated or something.
that resonated
right?
in a way, especially with the pop culture references, with the, you know what I'm saying? They're hearing like things that, oh. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, whereas we hear that when we listen to Redman or Ghostface Killer or somebody, we're catching all the pop culture references. You listen, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
It resonates with you. So I think a lot of times, sometimes the way that I write, it just catches people. They're like, oh, I never, So I mean, it's just that thing of just sharing it. And with the Beastie Boys, like, I just think it's like during when they started playing their own instruments and the kind of music. So somebody like would say, okay, you're like, you know, past the mic Beastie Boys because of the sound and like the ear,
Yeah.
like the adult ear that goes into
totally.
creating these sounds.
Totally.
Is a different ear and shit.
I guess I think about like when I was first starting to play shows and I was doing like an absolutely blatant Ghostface impersonation. It was like,
And you're like Beastie Boys.
Yeah, it was like
Are you
RZA.
kidding me?
it was like RZA's impersonation beats. Yeah, exactly. And it's like this sounds like Licensed to Ill to you. I don't get it.
Yeah, man. What?
Yeah.
yeah, I was gonna also say too. I guess it would depend on which album.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
Like, yeah, I always felt like, I mean, I don't want to say, like, I've felt more in the vein of like a Cool Herc than like
Yeah,
the Beastie Boys
yeah,
to me.
totally.
Like, but yeah, and again, it depends on which of your albums I'm listening to.
My friends Grand Buffet, they my Grunge from Grand Buffet, he was telling me about a show they played at like a small town at a college somewhere in Pennsylvania. And someone came up to one of the members and was like, if you could compare yourselves to any two groups, what would it be? And he said Audio 2 and Devo, which is like, if anyone knows Grand Buffet, that's like so insanely on point. and like the girl was like, oh, okay, I was gonna say Weird Al meets the Beastie Boys.
Wow. Wow, I don't know if that's insulting or if that's complimentary. I don't know.
Right.
I mean, I do fuck with Weird Al a lot of his joints.
A lot of people do, yeah.
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 It's not,
Get some food.
What'd you say?
We gotta get some. It's 3 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
we gotta
I'm sorry
get
to hold
packed
you
up. We
guys
gotta
up.
get packed up.
Okay. So I guess.
eating all day. It's 3
Yeah.
o'clock. I was sort of. I said, "Oh my god, is that my stomach?"
Starving.
Yeah.
It's
Amar
fucking this
pizza?
bitch.
Oh, is that where you're headed?
Yeah, but are you want to join
Trying
us?
to roll.
Yeah.
No,
I'll see
is
you.
this the pizzeria that you said he said is the best pizza? Because he keeps on being like, "What the fuck are y'all talking about?"
Oh, Amar Pizza is just it's like tandoori pizza.
Oh,
It's so good.
oh,
Yeah, it's
okay.
really
I thought there was something that you
No.
told them about. Because I'm like,
Oh, no,
he's
no,
like,
no.
I have no idea what you guys are talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah.
No, I just didn't want to invite myself if I wasn't.
No, that's
Yeah.
what we're saying. Let's.
Oh,
let's
yeah,
do
I'll
it,
roll
baby.
Is it near here?
Not really, right? It's like Hamtramck.
That's a little bit of a ways.
Is it near the
Yeah.
mushroom
About, like,
dispensary?
20
Which is
minutes.
closed at 5 o'clock.
I'm saying let's do that tomorrow.
They open at 12.
Oh,
I mean, they're all over the place. We can probably find some near the tandoori.
yeah. Cool.
Is there a tandoori spot in where we just came from? Are we going that
Hazel
one?
Park?
No, the tandoori. Maybe should we sign off before?
No, we can keep this going.
No,
this is
this is
interesting.
good.
I like
Yeah.
Yeah.
this is stuff Don and I used to talk about the
Yeah.
sub spot. And
This is the
everything.
intro to the podcast.
Yeah. We talked about a lot of food for like hours.
I think my guess would be we should get the Amar Pizza, then go to East Point, pick up the shirts, probably check the dispensary around that area.
Yeah, I would say that. But that depends on what time the dispensary closes. Because it is Sunday.
Well, I'll
So-
look in that area and see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, this was fun. Should we do an official sign off or do we just
Do it.
let this one run? So this was
the
an
inaugural?
unknown episode of Unknown Episodes. Was that what it was called?
Episode unknown.
Episode Unknown. And Ialive was here. Nosaj was here. Height was here. Wave Generators. They're on tour. This was a fun experience. We had a really good time setting up the audio, which was really cool. So yeah, this was fun. Thanks you guys for coming and
Thank
hanging
you,
out.
brother.
Thank you.
Yeah,
man.
anytime.
All right.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
Fitting all kill fellatio with bars. And you got a gunshot, do you kill baby? The Sid Nancy vibe when the tribe touch Miami. God go save the queen, I'm doing my own thing. I'll be on the rooftop, getting off on my own, waiting for your Mary Jane girl all night long. Give me back my helmet and my protein pills. My other submarines been gentrified life kills. Let's go now.
Falling down, left in the deepest dust. Call the spirits all around for a battery with no rust. The radon detector found radon seeping through the wall, but the love seat you laid on. While the house band just played on. Notes on cue as we float through the gray dawn. Days getting dark, no flowers out. Alone with no lights and the power's out. But the road we're thrown is unknown. New tone, our old blue zone's just hours out. Falling down, left in the deepest dust. Call the spirits all around for a battery with no rust. Falling down, left in the deepest dust. Call the spirits all around for a battery with no rust.